All right, folks, today a guy who's worked closely with Karl Rove and has several Republican campaigns on his resume, including John McCain's White House bid, did something astonishing. Why would Steve Schmidt, a veteran GOP operative, suddenly speak out against a core principle of his own party? Today, he told a group of gay Republicans it's time for same-sex marriage to be embraced by conservatives.
Whether you are for or against same-sex marriage, every Republican ought to value the right of the people to make such personal decisions for themselves. As former Vice President Cheney observed, freedom means freedom for everybody. And I think Republicans and our great Republican Party should always be on the side of expanding freedom and equal rights. It is our heritage and our legacy.
Well, the big question, is he just trying to boost support for a party in trouble? And will Republicans really consider such a fundamental shift in direction? Let's bring the issue to the front burner. Charles Moran is a spokesman with the Log Cabin Republicans, a group of gay and lesbian members of the GOP. That's the group Schmidt spoke to today. He's in Washington, along with Wendy Wright, who's president of the conservative group Concerned Women for America, which opposes same-sex marriage. And I want to deal with you, Wendy. What Steve Schmidt is saying is, frankly, a radical idea for the GOP. Smart move on his part?
Well, on the same day that Steve Schmidt's candidate lost, and every state in which the marriage amendment was on the ballot won. In Florida, 62% of voters voted to protect marriage. In California, 70% of blacks, most of them Democrat, voted to define marriage as between one man and one woman.
Wendy, I will say this here. The initial report was 70%, but later it came out to be about 58%. But go right ahead with your comment.
No. I said 70% of blacks.
Right, I mean African Americans, yes.
And there are two main reasons why every time this is put up to a vote for the people, that people define marriage as between one man and one woman. That's because they understand marriage is a unique bond between a man and a woman that provides children with the benefits of both sexes, male and female. The second reason is that people learned about the real-world consequences of allowing same-sex marriage, the threats and punishments to religious freedom and parental rights. In Massachusetts, which allowed same-sex marriage, a father who simply asked a school to inform him before his kindergarten-age child was taught about homosexuality, he was arrested and jailed. In Massachusetts, those who perform weddings, they provide services, they threaten being arrested if they don't participate in same-sex ceremonies.
Wendy, one second. I want to quickly go to Charles. Charles, here you have Steve Schmidt. He's worked with Karl Rove, President George W. Bush, a number of Republicans. Because of his resume, does he bring credibility to the table when it comes to this issue?
He absolutely brings some credibility, and thank you again for having us on tonight. Wendy, you need to stop spreading these lies and mistruths and deceptions about what gay marriage means in America. It's high time that this country, like Steve Schmidt articulated today and other prominent GOP conservatives, are saying about moving ahead and looking forward and really talking about what marriage is. It's a relationship, it's a bond between two people, and it's about respecting the true conservative values of having the right to make the decisions for yourself and what works for your family versus having somebody else make them for you. That's the true conservative side to it. That's what Steve Schmidt was talking about today. That's what we're hearing from Meghan McCain and a lot of Republicans around the country who are saying it's high time that the Republican Party say, oh, well, we want freedom for our guns and our pocketbook, but we need to have government in there telling us what we should be doing in our bedroom.
Charles and Wendy, I want to play something else Steve Schmidt said earlier today.
I believe, and I think most Americans believe, you are born with your sexuality. It is not a choice. It should offend us as Republicans and Americans when gays are denigrated as un-American or undeserving of the government's protection of their rights. And the Republican Party should give voice to genuine outrage when anyone belittles the humanity of another person. It is offensive in the extreme to the values of this nation, and we should be in the forefront of rejecting such truly un-American prejudice.
Hey, Wendy, that sounds like a strong rebuke for social conservatives like yourself.
Well, religious freedom and parental rights are core American values that cross political parties. We're born male and female, and we choose the sexual behavior, the sexual acts that we will engage in. And it's really this kind of hateful talk we're hearing from the other guest, from Steve Schmidt. And that's why I think we're now seeing people who see the true face of the homosexual movement, that in fact they do threaten and punish people who don't agree with them.
Well, Charles, real quick, how did you build on this speech today? What's next?
Well, what's next is continuing to take our message to small town and mainstream America, taking the message out of some of the big cities and really showcasing that gay rights are equal rights and that this is the future of America. And really, we've got the tide going for us. Just the other day, there was a GQ article from obviously the chairman of the Republican National Committee, talking about how, you know, his decision to be black is just like having the decision to be gay. I mean, at the end of the day, this is this argument that we're hearing over and over again about its sexual behavior, sexual choice. It's not a choice. It's who we are. And all we're asking for is the government to stop providing some privileges to some and denying them to others.
Charles Moran, Wendy Wright, we certainly appreciate it. Thanks a bunch.
Thank
Folks,
you.
The president's inauguration clearly helped shatter at least one racial barrier, but there's a major world forum on racism Monday, and the White House doesn't appear to want anything to do with. We'll tell you why.